Two strangers walked into a bar, and they walked out with their own radio show.
I've never been with a man before.
Looks like I'm the boss now.
He's Derek.
The world is your oyster. Just shit on it.
She's Romaine.
I've got a handful of shit.
It's Derek and Romaine.
2.0, bitches!
Still the classiest show in the world.
Oh,
Derek
yes.
Hartley here along with Romaine Patterson. Back with you for another exciting show. Coming up in a few minutes, we are going to be joined by one of our favorite longtime guests with us, who we have not talked to in a very long time.
I know.
Singer-songwriter Josh Zuckerman. He has a new single out and video, and we're going to hear a bit of his song and catch up with him and how he has been enjoying his summer vacation.
Yes.
In just a moment. But, Romaine, I thought that we could kick things off with a little discussion of unexplained phenomena. So,
okay.
Recently, scientists discovered a fossil in the Saharan desert.
All right.
And it is a plesiosaur, a dinosaur that lived in water millions of years ago.
All right.
But it apparently lived in the Moroccan River, and that is a freshwater river. So they believe that this dinosaur was a freshwater dinosaur.
Okay.
But now scientists are saying that that would mean that the Loch Ness monster could plausibly have existed. Now, probably not at the time that people at Loch Ness were taking pictures of shadowy things floating around in the water. But even still, it does mean that the idea of a dinosaur living in a freshwater lake is
possible.
Not out of the realm of possibility.
That's interesting. So do you believe in the Loch Ness monster? No.
Just because,
How do you explain all these pictures?
Well, sometimes people see what they want to see in a shadow or in a burnt piece of toast. This is one of the things that AI is not good at. We're able to see faces and people in shapes where they aren't there, but other creatures and AI machines and everything do not have this same ability. So sometimes I think people see ghosts or Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster or UFOs because our brains can make a little magic.
And sometimes they're actually seeing those things.
Maybe. Do you think the Loch Ness Monster is real?
I don't think the Loch Ness Monster necessarily is real, but you and I both agree that our old studio had a ghost in it.
Well, yes, because I did actually myself see the ghost.
And I saw it many, many, many times and described it perfectly to you and what you saw.
Yes. Now, it could be argued that what we saw was a light phenomenon.
A light phenomenon?
Yeah. That the way that light was refracting through a window or something could have created a shadow. The fact that we saw exactly the same thing might indicate that something like that. But we did see.
But where we saw it, we're in two different places.
Well, that is
in our office, because you saw it more towards the cantina,
yeah.
Whereas I always saw it literally right in front of our studio, which was probably 30 feet apart.
Well, it's hard to explain.
It's not hard to explain. It was a ghost.
Okay, well, it was probably a ghost.
And shit always was going wrong with technology over there, way worse than over here. You've noticed that, right? Like we don't have nearly the same problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of the problems we had were very minor, easy things to fix, but it was like someone was always fucking with shit. And now,
I just assumed that the problems at our old office were Donnie messing things up and then not taking credit for it. But then again, he is also the one that we think brought the ghost in.
That's true.
Maybe Donnie himself was not the problem. It was the ghosts that were following him around and now are appearing on a sitcom on CBS.
Well, and Donnie really did. I mean, he really did talk about these ghosts like he actually saw them. So
he saw ghosts all the time.
Yeah. So I don't doubt that he did. I don't doubt for a second that I think ghosts have always existed. I think I think depending on how you feel about them can depend on how much you interact with them. Like some people I think are just more prone to be open to seeing them and being near them and interacting with them. Some people are super closed off, and so I don't think that ghosts really present themselves to those people.
So it really is about having an open mind.
I do think that that's a big part of it. Like, I think there's a part of spirituality that you have to kind of have an openness to. I think you have to kind of be in tune to certain things, certain energies and things like that. So yeah, I definitely think there are some people that are more inclined to be visited by ghosts than others. And I certainly believe that there is a plane or a dimension or whatever you want to call it where ghosts reside. I don't think every person that dies becomes a ghost. I think
only the fun ones.
I think there is probably some rhyme or reason to why people become ghosts or don't. I'm not sure what that is because I'm not a ghost expert, but I certainly believe in ghosts. I always have. And I think that the dead often present themselves to you in a way that most suits when or how you are open. For instance, you recently had a dream about someone you knew and loved, and they had a very funny message for you. At least I think it's funny.
It was funny.
And you know, and so I often am visited by the people I've loved who've moved on in my dreams. I think that's a place where we can I think they can easily access our minds and our consciousness. But yeah, I totally think that ghosts exist. I totally think that we are visited regularly, and I'm open to it, but I don't love ghosts personally. Ghosts
Have they tried to kill you or something?
No. But like if I know I'm in a place where there are ghosts, whether they're friendly or unfriendly, I usually ask them to leave me alone.
What has ever happened to you from an unfriendly ghost, other than our equipment being disrupted in our office? And by the way, we didn't do anything to those ghosts.
No.
We did not run the old sweatshop that used to be in that building.
No,
like, this is not our fault.
No. So sometimes ghosts don't give you good feelings. So, for instance, years ago, I was probably, maybe 13 at the time. We had gone to the Botanical Gardens in Denver, Colorado.
A well-known haunted place.
They're beautiful. I did not know this at the time. But this place is beautiful. And the entire time I was there, especially as we got towards the back section of it, I was overwhelmed with this uneasy feeling the whole day. And certain aspects of the park were worse than others.
Well, botanicals are not for everyone.
And I kept saying to my mom and my brother John, I'm like, I don't like this place. This place feels very weird. Like there was just something off about it. And it wasn't until after we left that my brother John told me that it used to be a graveyard and the horrible things that they did with the bodies there and how half of them were still there.
Oh, Lord.
And then I was like, and then it made a lot of sense to me. Like clearly, and like even, I will say, even when I go down to like the World Trade Center area now, I do not like, there is a vibe there that I do, like I feel it. Like I start to get almost like a panic attack. Like my heart rate speeds up and there's just a feeling there that was never there before. I had visited the World Trade Center before the towers fell. I never had that feeling down there. But if I'm right there in the close vicinity of where the buildings were, it's not a good feeling. I can feel it. You can feel the energy shift there, and it is not pleasant for me. And so I often will then say, if you're here, please leave me be. And sometimes that feeling will go away, and other times it doesn't.
Well, I think that with the this new James Webb telescope, we're able to see more deeper into the universe. And one of the things that is very visible in the telescope is how much dark matter is out there. So we think of sort of the emptiness of space, but there is matter that we know, see, and touch and interact with, and then there is dark matter, which is most of what the universe is made up of, which is matter that we don't interact with. It's invisible to us, but it has gravitational properties and everything. We know it's there. There's something there. We just don't see it, and it's not tangible for us as people to be able to interact with. And there's a lot more of that than the matter that we do interact with. So, I don't know that I necessarily believe in like ghosts, like on the sitcom where, or Beetlejuice or something, where somebody dies, Topper, and then, the ghost of an actual person is there sitting on your shoulder, whatever else. That kind of thing, the way it's sort of presented in movies and TV shows, I don't necessarily believe in. But there is, certainly scientifically, there is dark matter, and there's plenty about the possibility of other dimensions around us that we don't know or understand, that leave open the possibility that maybe what we are perceiving as the Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot or ghosts or any of these kinds of phenomena, UFOs, are things from another dimension that we briefly are able to interact with in some kind of a way.
Well, I mean, I think if you're talking about like death from a science perspective, in science, energy never just disappears. It changes. It shifts from one thing to another, but it never just like goes away. It always changes. So I have to believe that the energy that is a human being and the spirit of a human being, it can't just die and be done. It has to change into something else. What that is, fuck if I know. But I believe that...
You call yourself a scientist.
I believe there is some kind of change that happens there in that moment.
Well, you are a scientist on an app.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I try to be a scientist.
A callback to Rafi.
Yes.
Look, I think that the open mind to have is that there are just the things that we don't know.
Yeah.
And I think if you went back in time 500 years and showed a person an iPhone, they would think that you were
a witch,
an interdimensional traveler from beyond the world, whatever. But technology, somebody said that technology looks like magic to people who don't understand it or something.
Right.
There's something around that. And that is the thing of like things that we take for granted. Electric light bulbs would look shocking to people 300 years ago.
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that we have to keep an open mind that there is plenty around us that we just don't know or understand yet.
Well, and our bodies have only evolved so much. Like, what if we could only see...
My body has evolved quite a bit, thank you very much.
What if we could only see in 2D, right? Knowing what we know now, there's 3 dimensions, how much that changes things. So what if there are more dimensions that our eyes just are not capable of seeing? Because they just haven't evolved enough.
Well, this would explain why I keep falling down the stairs. Maybe I am seeing dimensions that are not physically there. And then I'm like, oops.
That could be true, Derek, because you do fall down those stairs
a lot. So maybe I'm an interdimensional traveler.
I mean, it's possible, I guess. I don't know.
I certainly was when I fell down the stairs. My foot went through the wall. It was trying to reach another dimension.
Oh, it sure was.
The bathroom. I gotta be careful on the stairs.
You really do.
Careful.
You really do.
Well, we've got an open mind here on the show, and we hope you do too. Will we ever be able to answer the question about these unknown phenomena?
Who can say?
Maybe not. I guess we'll all just have to keep an open mind about it. And coming up next, we're going to hear a bit from Josh Zuckerman, his latest single, and chat with him about how he's keeping cool this summer. That's coming up next. You're on Derek and Romaine.
DNR 2.0.
The summer heat, Derek, this year has been unbearably hot all across the nation.
Too hot.
Too hot. But I will tell you, when it gets hot and muggy and horrible outside, the thing that I do to cool down is drink a beer. Because it's refreshing. I like a Miller Lite because it's light, doesn't taste like water, and it cools you down, helps you relax, makes you enjoy the summer a little bit more, even when it's hot outside.
That's right. And it's refreshing at the end of a hot day.
Yeah.
Hang out outside under the shade or inside in the air conditioning with friends and family and just hanging out. It's always Miller time in the summertime.
Yeah, I just went out to a bunch of concerts recently, and every time I went to the concert, the one thing I would do is I'd go get myself one of those really big Miller Lights so that I could stay cool. And the nice thing about a light beer is that it doesn't weigh you down. Like it's, when you drink like a full beer, it's like, oh, it's so, you just feel all bloated and blech afterwards. But Miller Lite doesn't make you feel like that. It makes you feel light and good and happy and cool. Ugh, it's everything you want in a beer. A beer that tastes like a beer. It's not too heavy. Ugh, I love it. It's only 96 calories, by the way, which is awesome. And it has 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. I'm telling you right now, you should have Miller Lite on hand because it's going to help you this summer.
That's right. So next time you're getting ready to enjoy cold ones with your crew, go to MillerLite.com/DNR to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's always Miller time in the summertime.
So celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Enjoy your summer with some Miller Lite.
That's right, at MillerLite.com/DNR, and that's a Miller Lite, LITE.com.
That was said that you never will achieve. You keep playing in your head, and it's you that you deceive. While you're lying there awake, you hear those voices in your head saying, get up, and believe in faith, and believe in trust, and believe in hope. I believe it's true. Just believe that you can be whatever you choose. Your thoughts and words will never again abuse you. Just listen to your heart and mind. Together I know we will be just fine. The only thing we want is the only thing we need. Keep replaying what was said. It's then that wolf that you will feed. While you're lying there awake, you hear those voices in your head saying, get up, and believe in faith, and believe in trust, and believe in hope. I believe it's true. I believe that we can fly. High above we can touch the sky. All together it's you and I. 'Cause I believe in me. Yes, I believe in you. While you're lying there awake, you still hear voices in your head saying,
That was a bit of Josh Zuckerman's new song, I Believe. And you can check it out on the web, joshzuckerman.com. He is on Facebook, Josh Zuckerman Music on Facebook. He has a YouTube channel, Josh Zuckerman Music, where you can watch his videos. And he is on Instagram. He is Josh Zuckerman on Instagram, and he is with us now. Josh, welcome back to the show.
Hey guys,
It's
nice
been
to be here.
It's been so long since we've had a chance to chat with you.
I know, I love it. Such a pleasure, such a pleasure.
But it's great to know you've got new music and you're out performing. And as we sort of return to normal, we talk to a lot of music artists. It has been quite a bumpy couple of years.
Yes, indeed, it has. It has. However, it's been an interesting experience coming back in from the pandemic of just being able to perform again and being able to write new music and just kind of get a little bit of a rebirth as far as my musical style as well. The past, I have 6 albums out, and the other albums, are quite different than the songs that I've been releasing lately. It's just a little bit more modernized. It's still got that Josh Zuckerman flavor and feel to it, but it's just, a little bit more up to speed with what's going on and currently out there now. So I just, really wanted to play around with different loops and stuff and whatnot, kind of like the Billie Eilish thing. Billie Eilish
Right.
and her brother, recorded that whole album, like just from their home and just with loops and whatnot and all these different samples and stuff. And I just thought that was really impressive. And that's something I thought of like playing around with. And it truly was like a kid in a candy store. And I never really thought of writing music in that way. Generally, when I would write a song, like my music would, like the idea would come first, and then I would, put it to a guitar, and then I'd basically present it to, musicians that would play. And this is kind of different, like a different mode of songwriting for me, which it's just been really exciting that I've been able to do that, And I basically would start with like the different sounds and loops that I really enjoy, and then I would put them to a track. And then I would just like a melody would come to me right away from those tracks. And then that's how the song would be written.
Oh, that's cool. That's
Yeah.
definitely a kind of a different process. I like it. That's pretty neat.
Yeah. And I'm real excited about that because I didn't think that I could write in that way. But it's been really nice to do that. And, I released my first song called Prey, which was Prey, and which was out. I released that in October. And shot a really cool music video in the genre of American Horror Story, because to me, like, that's one of my favorite shows. And Prey kind of got a spooky vibe to it. It's got a like different feels, than my other past songs. So, that got a lot of like hits on YouTube. I had like 60,000 views on YouTube from that video, which was freaking insane. Yeah. And so from there, like I just released my new one, I believe. And same kind of thing, I think it's up to like 65,000 views right now. And I mean, it's just been really awesome, like doing just a different genre and type of music and seeing that people are receptive to it,
I mean, I think that's incredible, but it goes to show, I think, that people have been craving new creative content. I think, we went through this, like what I like to think of as like the dark ages, these last couple of years where, we weren't out and about, we weren't socializing, we weren't experiencing new things in the same way. And it's so refreshing to be out and enjoying, new sounds, new albums, new music, new everything. Because it just feels like we're waking up from a long slumber and I'm ready to live again.
Oh my gosh, I hear you. Cheers to that. Absolutely.
Well, and I noticed from your social media that here recently you were at a concert that I too was at.
What?
We were both at the Alanis Morissette concert that happened in New Jersey a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
I'm dying to hear from your perspective as a musician. What did you think of that show?
I was blown away completely. I was going to use actually a curse word, but I stopped myself. But I was
You can, it's okay.
away. All right. Well, just to be, if we're going to post this on social media, my little kindergartners and whatnot, just in case. But anyway, I was blown beep, beep, beep away.
Yeah.
It was just, I did not expect her to sound as good as she did. I mean, and I give people grace because, as they get older, and you hear the stories of like, Motley Crue and like, people from that era, like, singing their songs now, and then they're older, they can't hit those notes the same way.
Right.
Alanis, holy smokes. Like, was she not incredible? Like, her vocals were
I have to say, that's what I said. I said her vocals were insane. She sang her effing face off. And I also thought her audio engineers were gods because like they enhanced what was already there. And she sang every song. Like that was so refreshing to see at a live concert.
Because, absolutely. Because, Alanis came out with her newest album, is a meditation album. Did you know that?
I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. Right. So for me, I literally, and I told my friend as we were going to the concert, I'm like, look, I don't know what to expect. Because, a lot of artists will play, like, their newer songs and stuff, and sometimes they'll, like, throw in their, like, older stuff, like, at the end. Like, I was totally prepared to be like, okay, Madonna. Alanis, why is it Madonna? But Alanis could simply just, like, be on stage in a meditation pose doing a meditation, like, 2-hour set. I don't know. but like she just continued to play like song after song with like the hits of like what we knew her from. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I thought that was one of the best concerts I've been to in my life, honestly. And I didn't even have great seats. Like we were up in the lawn, we were just kind of chillaxing. And I went in with kind of low expectations, to be honest. And I was blown away. I could not believe how great she performed.
Yeah, she's definitely an artist that deserves every single thing that she's gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just super she's definitely the top of her game with her art, for sure.
Yeah. No, let's talk about where you've been performing, because I have seen, it seems like you've been out and about performing a lot, this year. So where are some of the places you've been and what's been the most fun?
I mean, I haven't performed at as many Prides as I used to, but I was fortunate to play at the Jersey Pride, which was nice. So that was exciting to be on stage again there in Jersey, my home, away from home in Asbury. I'm still playing the same, Doylestown, Pennsylvania, around kind of like the tri-state area thing. It's cute because I'm actually in Arizona right now, and I have a gig on Thursday in Arizona, which is fun. That'll be cute. And I say cute because it's like my mom, my mom arranged it, and it's like so cute that my mom's excited about it, and telling her all of my mom's friends. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, but I'm still, playing and performing and writing music and just still loving what I'm doing, and while I'm still teaching. And my hopes and my intentions are that I have 5 years left, and then I could retire from teaching and just do music full time. So that's my hopes. Although I do love teaching, so it's kind of like weird, but I'm kind of like loving both of my lives, Well,
I wanted
as well as teaching.
I want to ask you about the teaching stuff, because this is one of my. So I will say, during the pandemic, I turned to social media for a lot of my joy, and one of my favorite things was seeing the videos you would post of you teaching remote learning classes to your kindergartners, and how you got them engaged in remote learning, because it's challenging. And just you were so adorable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it was like, I just was like, this is such an interesting thing. And this is something like that. I was feeling like, okay, I could get away with videotaping because they're on screen and they're not being seen. So it's just like, let me just, and people seem to like it. So I'm like, okay, this is cool. And, listen, I really wish we could just have a reality show about teachers, because literally I feel like my class would we would win an Emmy just for the way my classes sometimes. They're just funny. They make we laugh, and we have such a good time, and it's just so much fun. I really love I feel like I'm getting paid to just be a kid with my kids in my class, and of course we learn, but we learn in fun ways, and I don't want my kids to really feel like they're the traditional way of learning. I want them to have fun and want them to.
And that is very apparent by the videos you made. But I thought one of the other interesting things about it was it really demonstrated the challenges that teachers face during the pandemic. How do you get these kids, some of which are so young, they don't even really know how to sit in front of a computer for 5 hours and stay engaged? How do you keep them engaged? There were just so many very obvious challenges it showed that you guys faced during that pandemic, and you guys just seemed to handle it with such grace and and determination.
Not like Romaine.
Shut up, you. But no, that to me was really, I really admired what you guys were doing and how hard it was.
Well, see, and that's the thing that was the, the positives coming from this experience was that I feel like, okay, for me, I always had two different Joshes. So I would have the goofy, fun Josh that would just let my personality shine, not caring, when the door was closed and it was just me and my kids, right? However, when administration would come in and observe me, or if parents came to for a special event, then I'd turn on the professional Josh that I felt like I had to be, right?
Yeah.
So the pandemic really forced me, because I'm like, okay, parents are going to be there 24/7 pretty much behind the scenes, really watching what I'm doing, and I'm like, that's going to be a horrible experience for me if I have to turn this other Josh on all the time,
right,
and not have the experience of just being me. Well, this actually opened up to be like where I just didn't care. I'm like, I'm going to be Josh. I'm going to be the Josh that I know and that I find to be the best, funny, fun, loving experience that I've had with my kids in the past when the doors closed. And I'm just going to do that all the time. And I felt like, parents just really like embraced it and they loved it. And I got so many compliments and I just felt like after that experience coming back into the classroom now, the real world now, I'm just myself. And like, no matter who comes in my room, I just love it. And I feel like it's taken me that long to just finally find myself and like just being able to be who I am. It's crazy. But so that was the positive of the whole pandemic. But I feel like keeping them engaged was really just like, I just made it really fun. And I felt like it was like, I was performing and like doing a show with them and having just, I don't know, it was just the greatest thing was that, honestly, I never had to raise my voice because all I had to do was hit the mute button. That was the most amazing thing ever. I never had to raise my voice. I literally just had to hit the mute button, and that was it. And I was like, oh, my God, if I could only do that in the real world when I come back to town.
Right? Seriously.
I did. I even made a joke about it. I'm like, look, I'm muting you. Mute, because I'm like, this is like, that was the best invention to have, during that time. But yeah, I mean, it really was just keeping them engaged was challenging, but I lucked out and I had a great support group with my parents, and they were really helpful. And I had a great class, and they seemed to want to come to class, and they were excited to be there. So, and they were so cute because they were teaching me things. They'd be like, Mr. Z, try unmute, try, I think you're unmuted or you're muted, or they would be like, try to log off and log back on again. See if that helps. Oh, Mr. Z, you're frozen. You're not sharing on the screen. Wait, you're not. It's like they were teaching me things that I like. It was so cute.
Oh my God, that's adorable. I love that.
They are very tech savvy. But you are also a bit tech savvy too, because for the video I believe you shot it with your iPhone.
I know. So that's another crazy story. So when I shot the music video for Pray with the guy Carlo, who was an amazing Carlo Anthony, who did an amazing job with Pray, I wanted him to be, to direct and produce the next video for I Believe. However, as story unfolds and things work out for a reason, he wasn't able to do it. He was booked up for 3 months, and I didn't want to wait 3 months. I really wanted to, this was the time where I'm like, okay, it's time for me to release another song. I don't want to wait for 3 months, because that actually was going to be like when school started again, and I wanted to be a release in the summer. So I thought to myself, okay, my nephew has told me on several occasions that my phone is just as good as his professional cameras that he's used, for videos and stuff. So I just was like, let me just try this. And so I thought, how cool would it be to be behind the scenes? I'll hold the phone and shoot the music video and hire actors and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. Well, I couldn't find any actors to play the role, so then I decided to do the acting as well in it. And then I found a friend who was willing to hold the phone for me, and he's like, yeah, I could totally help you out. And he did a great job with that. And, it was nice because, we shoot a scene, and then I'd come back and we'd look at it, and then I'd be like, you know what, can you try that again and now do it maybe from a little different angle? Try it from up above here, try it from below here, try to maybe circle around over here, and he would, take the direction really well, and he had his own vision too, and he could totally see what I was talking about. And so we ended up doing it and found some actors and to join, and it came out really nice. It was really it was very surprisingly good.
Yeah, no, I watched the video. I thought it was a great video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I might have actually
it's all
ruined
done on
somebody who I think was shooting a movie on their iPhone just today.
Of course you did. Of course you ruined the shot.
So I was waiting to take the commuter train into the city, and there was some confusion. The MTA gave people the wrong information about which track the train was going to be on. So a bunch of people were on the wrong track. And I never mind my own business. And so there were 3 guys who were sitting on the wrong track when the train came in. As soon as the train started pulling in, they started to move around, a bit panicky and whatever. And I thought, oh, they're on the wrong track. So I started waving at them or whatever, this is the track for the thing. And then I saw that they were filming it with the phone. And I thought, oh, no, they're trying to film Like they're making an independent movie and they're trying to film a train pulling into a station. And here I am right in the middle of the shot, waving at the camera, just ruining everything. So, and the train comes once an hour. So they had been sitting there for God only knows how long. No. And then
you're the worst.
Yeah, it started and I messed it all up. I'm
Way
great.
to go.
Well, you know what? Maybe you didn't mess it up. Maybe they want you. Maybe you'll end up being in the movie. You never know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe they'll hate me forever.
Maybe.
But it must have been fun to, perilous, just like these guys. But in some ways, it might have been freeing creatively to, do a music video in a new way like this.
It was so much fun that actually I want to do. So I've released I actually recorded 4 songs around the same time. And the beautiful thing about that is because now that I'm not doing albums anymore, because really no one buys CDs or anything, right? Physical copies. So now it's nice because I've recorded 4 songs that now I can just release one at a time, around maybe every 3-4 months, you know what I mean? So it's like nice. It kind of gives people like, oh, here's another song, instead of having people to wait forever. So what's nice is that I'm already working on my new single called My Own Religion. And actually the same guy who recorded the Pray video is going to be working with me again on this new video, My Own Religion. And what's cool is that My Own Religion was recorded also with the legendary drummer Tommy Price from Joan Jett and the Blackhearts is my idol.
Amazing.
Growing up. Yeah. So he's also on playing drums on that song as well. As Jimmy Leahy, he's the guitar player for Dennis DeYoung from Styx. So I have like 2 like all-star like musicians playing on the song, which is like so cool. So I've recorded. That's already recorded and done. So now just going to be recording a music video soon. And then my next song after that is I redid The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and I'm so excited for you to hear this, guys. So I basically, because that's kind of been a staple for me when I play
Live. Every time you play it at Pride, I hear you play it.
Right. So you know what? The Devil Went Down to Georgia was the version was such like, again, it's like that classic version that I thought, what if I actually did my, kind of the whole Billie Eilish take on The Devil Went Down to Georgia and did a whole bunch of loops, but made it fun and more modernized and more like this generation friendly, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I thought so I did, and I'm super stoked about it. It came out super, super awesome. So I'm going to probably do like a music video for that one and do that on my cell phone as well.
That sounds awesome. I'm excited to hear that song. I can't wait.
I agree.
Yeah, me too. It's fun.
All right. Well, Josh, thanks so much for being with us. Be sure to check out his music at joshzuckerman.com.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, guys. Pleasure.
Can't get enough of the show? Follow them on Twitter at DNR Show or like them on Facebook.
And don't forget to tell your friends to subscribe to DNR 2.0 at DerekandRomaine.com.